This part of the video was recorded after the rest of the video, and I just wanted to get this message out to you guys that I want to thank you for 300 subscribers. I didn't think I was even going to get up to 100, but then I made a special video about it. Was it the best I could do? Well, it was back then, but not today. But when I was recording the rest of this video that you're about to see here in a minute, I was not at 300 subscribers, and I wasn't planning on revealing something this special, but now that I've passed it, well, I just like to give you guys a little reward for 300 subscribers, and it wasn't my plan initially, but I guess it is now. You're going to see something in this video that I have not shown you before, and it ought to look pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and enjoy the rest of the video. Hey, it's Target Shooter 145, and today we're going to be seeing how well this Crosman 760 has been holding up for the past 2 years. We're going to be seeing if it still has its power, its accuracy, and this thing did go run through a torture test about a year ago, so it's probably not as sleek as it used to be. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be doing is testing if this thing still had its power after a couple of years of use. And this is about twice the distance as I did in one of my previous videos. It's the most popular video on my YouTube channel, and we did about half the distance. And in case you're wondering what that video is, I'll put a link right up here so you can watch it if you want to. And we're going to see if this thing still has the same result, which, if I remember correctly, was it went in the bottle, but it didn't come out the back, but I spaced them out just a little bit so to see if it will actually go all the way through. And we're going to be filming this at 1,000 frames per second, and if you're wondering about how bad the resolution is, it's a little under standard. So it's not really bad, it's still watchable. So let's go ahead and take a shot at this. And in case you couldn't tell, I let the tops off to create where the water can move and expand a lot better, so it could have went into the second one. Let's watch that in 1,000 frames per second now. Alright, so as you can tell in the slow-mo, that it only pierces it and then hits the back wall and bounces back. And actually went and retrieved the pellet, and he's a little deformed, but I think he's alright. But next thing we're going to do is test at 200 feet again, and see if this thing still holds up its accuracy. Alright, so I got a 2 liter at 200 feet like I did in the video that I did a long time ago. He's way down there. Yeah, he's on my wooden stand that I now have, and I'm going to be using my cameraman as a spotter so we can save walking back and forth if I miss. Alright, so in case you're wondering how many shots that took me to hit the 2 liter at 200 feet, it took me 25, which is mainly because I forgot where to hold and how high to hold this thing up for 200 feet. And in case I haven't mentioned it yet, we're using Crosman pointed tip pellets for best penetration, and that thing had no damage whatsoever to that 2 liter. So now we're going to be doing kind of a second type of power test. We got 4 20 ounce or 24 ounce, I can't really remember, bottles down there. I got the caps off of them, and we're going to be filming this in slow-mo again, and let's see how many bottles it will go through. If I had to guess, it shoots the water about 20 feet up in the air. Let's see how that looks in slow-mo. Hey, it's me, Target Shooter 145, and I just wanted to explain how this pellet actually went through this bottle. And I plan to do another test in the future because I think the plastic is what slows the pellet down for the majority of it. I think the water barely has anything to do with it going all the way through a bottle. What this pellet did was it went straight through, obviously, as you can see here in the slow-mo. But what it did was it went through the first layer of plastic and then hit the second layer and then bounced back pretty much at the same speed because it made a little air pocket inside the bottle. And then it bounced back, just at a slight different angle to where it wouldn't come back through the same hole it came in. And then it creates the illusion, even in 1,000 frames per second here, that it literally just went in maybe like a eighth of an inch, and then started floating up and then floats back down. But what really happens is it bounces off the back wall just like it did with the 2-liter, and then bounces right back to the front, and then it just in that quick instance it does it just as fast as basically the pellet flies, maybe a little bit slowed down. So I'd say it was going about 600 feet per second, and it was probably going about 500 to 550 at a low that's the minimum of how slow it was going. But I just thought I'd fill you guys in, and I will be testing this in a more scientific way in the future. Enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, so the final thing we're going to be doing is taking a 5-shot group with our Crosman 760, obviously because it has a 5-shot clip. And this is in between rifle and pistol rated ranges. For pistol you shoot at 7 yards, and for rifle you shoot at 20. This is right in between at 40.5 feet. And basically that's about it. If you're wondering what's up with this weird way of doing it, this is to delete any movement from me, because we got this 760 clamped to my stand. The only movement it has is this, but you'll have, I'm being honest here, you have my word on this, that I will put it right in the same spot every single time. And we have a closer camera so we can see what's going on a little bit better. Load this guy up. Alright, so when we did clamp this, it did flex the outside, obviously, because it's not wood, it's not made out of metal. It's kind of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is, some type of plastic. I think it's synthetic. There we go. It slipped my mind for a second. But we're going to go ahead and see how we did, because, well, I can't see it, but you guys did. Alright, so it holds a decent group. I wouldn't call that exactly bad, and I do know where to hold this because I got my sights specially set up on my particular one. It might lose some accuracy with age because, well, God knows I didn't test this when I first got it. And another thing that this thing does is, trust me, that's with age. That did not happen when I first got it. And one thing I do recommend for getting a gun like this is I picked this up at Walmart. I'm not sure if they still sell it. This Remington rim oil. I use this to lube this thing up. I usually just kind of, it's a little difficult to cooperate with. You can kind of get a fingernail down in there to get it up. There we go. But basically, you put it in here where, the actual moving parts, because it's hidden with the tube. And I like to just, it keeps the gun lubed up nicely. I don't really count my drops, but I put right around that much in there. Set him down. I haven't actually used it in a while. And you just pump them up to the regular amount, which is 10. And I do recommend pumping him like that because, well, just to make sure that none of that drips on your floor or anything, especially from where you're doing it. And it just kind of keeps the gun going and lubed up, make sure there's no metal on metal contact. And it ends up making the gun run a lot cleaner. I will say this, I probably should have put that on there before testing out this group. And since this has turned into a 2-day project video, so I'm going to wrap it up here and make a part 2 about how the actual gun itself is holding up, instead of just talking about the power and accuracy. So look out for that video, and I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.